Welcome to the April 9th, 2025 work session for the Rutherford County School System. I call our meeting to order. We will be opening the meeting with a brief moment of silence or prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States flag. No one is required to participate or be present for any of these, and being in this portion of the meeting is completely voluntary. Ms. Sharp.
I'm going to start with a prayer if that's okay with everybody. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for today, this beautiful weather. Please sustain and make whole those that were touched by the bad weather last week. As we enter TCAP testing, give our teachers supernatural energy and strength. Protect our testing systems and let them perform perfectly like never before. Next month, our seniors will be walking the stage into adulthood. I pray a hedge of protection to surround them and their families. Give them favor with their professors or in their pending careers. For the rest of our district and board members, I pray for discernment, protection, prosperity, and most of all, a deeper love for our growing community. I ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Stand up.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next, I'm going to give everyone a moment to look over the agenda. And give you a second to look over the consent agenda. Any questions? Comments? Okay. We will. Yes, Mr. Vaughn.
I noticed we had field maintenance, certain people getting paid for field maintenance.
Yeah.
Yes,
sir.
Is that on the turf fields?
Yeah, because you still have maintenance on those, but it's up to the schools to fund.
Any other questions? Okay. We'll have Rutherford Proud on Thursday. We do have a speaker, and I'm delighted to see Colonel Jeffrey Gaylord is with us tonight to present the 2025 Junior ROTC Cadet Distinguished Leader Graduate Awards. Please step forward.
I'm on the clock, so I'll be brief. Good evening, Dr. Sullivan, board members. It's that time of year again when we pause to recognize several outstanding JROTC cadet leaders who are about to embark on the next phase of their journey. As you alluded to, I would dare say that the 18 cadets that are sitting here are already adults, but here we go. This year, we are pleased to award 20 deserving cadets with the Rutherford County JROTC Distinguished Leader Graduate Award. These young men and women have demonstrated exceptional leadership over the past 4 years by exceeding the criteria for this award. Just a few of the criteria. They have to achieve a minimum of a 3.5 GPA overall. All of these cadets here far exceeded that. They also have to achieve a minimum of a 4.0 GPA in all JROTC instruction. Achieve a minimum score of 22 on the ACT. Participate in a minimum of 1 extracurricular activity over the past 3 years and serve as a captain of one of those extracurricular activities. That includes Raiders, our Raider teams, that includes our drill teams, that includes our JLab teams, that's our JRTC Leadership Academic Bowl teams. It also includes our marksmanship team, our robotics teams, and our drone teams. They also have to achieve a minimum of 50 points in each event for the Cadet Challenge Fitness Test, which some of you, when you were going through school, that likens back to the Presidential Fitness Award. So not only are they scholars, but they are also well-rounded athletes. Tonight, each cadet will receive a Stones River Brigade Distinguished Leader Graduate Stole, a drape with the JROTC medallion, and their certificate. These items will be worn at their respective graduation ceremonies to represent their exemplary accomplishments. Without further ado, I'd ask Dr. Sullivan, Dr. Chastain, and Ms. Maxwell to please come forward for the presentation of awards. Cadets, as I call your name, please come forward. There's a little bit of orchestration here. Okay. Our first cadet, Cadet Captain Jared C. Garner from Blackman High School. Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Eva R. Huntley, Oakland High School. Cadet Captain Christopher T. Gann from Oakland High School. Unfortunately, he was taken ill this morning and could not be here, but I wanted to make sure his name was read, and he will be receiving his Distinguished Leader Graduate Awards at his respective school award ceremony. Our next, Cadet Captain Aaliyah A. Rodriguez from Oakland High School. Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Michael R. Campbell, Riverdale High School. We have Cadet Major Melania A. Tehu from Riverdale High School. Unfortunately, she had a band conflict and could not be here tonight. Likewise, we will present that at her award ceremony. Next, we have Cadet Major Crystal Lopez Martinez from Riverdale High School. Cadet Captain Samuel A. Gravely from Riverdale High School. Cadet Command Sergeant Major Kyler Ramirez Harris, Riverdale High School. Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Samantha Olson, Rockvale High School. Cadet Colonel Jackson Neal from Rockvale High School. He is also our Stones River Brigade commander for this year. That designated by his rear white and blue corps. Cadet Major Yug Patel from Rockvale High School. Cadet Command Sergeant Major Jonathan Harris from Rockvale High School. Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Lily G. Arkenberg from Siegel High School. Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Elsie H. Ungverzak from Stewart's Creek High School, and she is our Stones River Brigade Executive Officer for this year. Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy R. Prater from Stewart's Creek High School. Cadet Command Sergeant Major Ashley A. Williams from Stewart's Creek High School and our Brigade Command Sergeant Major. She's also not a bad wrestler. Cadet Major James F. Holliday, Stewart's Creek High School. Cadet Captain J. Clements, Stewart's Creek High School. And finally, Cadet Major Samaria L. Burns, Stewart's Creek High School. Please give all of these fine, outstanding young leaders another round of applause. Thank you very much for your time and your patience. This concludes the 2025 Distinguished Leader Graduate Award Ceremony. Would all cadets please exit the boardroom and meet outside for pictures in front of the school, in front of the signage. Thank you all again
Thank you,
very
Colonel
much.
Gaylord.
Have a
Thank you,
good
Colonel Gaylord. Outstanding, outstanding young men and women.
evening. We got a great bunch of instructors,
I
and thank
agree
you, the
completely.
board and Dr. Sullivan, for supporting such a great program. Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Have a good evening.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Well, they're winning, everybody.
Better win everybody.
Clean mountain. Clean the crowd.
Everybody. It's, yeah, it's a
Feel
pretty,
kinda lonely.
pretty small crowd. Anybody want to move up?
Okay. Next, number 8, we'll have public comments on Thursday. Number 9, we have legal.
Yep. We have several. First, the transfer student discipline, under discipline number 1, and Ms. Ridley emailed everybody, but you also have copies of them in front of you. First one, the board's been requested to admit a transfer student from another school system under discipline. The student was expelled for making a mass threat. According to policy 6.318, the board may deny admission of any student except those in state custody when a student transfers from another school system while under suspension or expulsion. Director of Schools' recommendations to deny.
Any questions? Number 2,
The board's been requested to admit a transfer student from another school system under discipline. The student was expelled for a Title IX finding. According to policy 6.318, the board may deny admissions of any student except those in state custody when a student transfers from another school system while under suspension or expulsion. Director of Schools' recommendation is to deny.
questions? Number 3,
The board's been requested to admit a transfer student from another school system under discipline. The student was expelled for causing extreme disruption in the classroom. According to policy 6.318, the board may deny any admissions of any student except those in state custody when the student transfers from another school system under suspension or expulsion. Director of Schools' recommendations also to deny.
questions? Number 4,
The board's been requested to admit a transfer student from another school system under discipline. The student was expelled for possession of THC. According to policy 6.318, the board may deny admissions of any student except those in state custody when a student transfers from another school system under suspension or expulsion. And Director of Schools' recommendations to deny.
okay. Number 5,
And number 5, the board's been requested to admit a transfer student from another school system under discipline. The student was expelled for making a threat. According to policy 6.318, the board may deny admissions of any student except those in state custody when a student transfers from another school system under suspension or expulsion. And Director of Schools' recommendations also to deny.
number 6. Okay, sorry, Ms. Darby.
How is the space in the alternative schools right now?
Full.
Are they?
Yes, especially this time of the year, yes.
I had a feeling.
Yep.
Thank you.
Number 6,
This is a disciplinary hearing appeal, and it is number 250301. The board has been requested to review a decision of the Disciplinary Hearing Authority, DHA, to uphold the remainment of a student from Simon Springs Community School. Based on a review of the DHA's record, the board may A, affirm the decision of the DHA, B, overturn the decision of the DHA, or C, grant a hearing before the board.
questions? Okay, number 10,
We have several engineering construction. First, Blackman High School video scoreboard request. Principal Justin Smith is requesting to install a video scoreboard at the football stadium. Cost of this project is $256,865 and will be funded with a loan to the Field Enhancement Organization from First American Bank. Scoreboards like one already approved by the board for Rockville High School. Engineering construction has reviewed the request and has no objections.
any questions, comments? Number 2,
Blackman High School softball outfield deck request. Principal Justin Smith is requesting to construct a 16 by 16 pressure-treated deck area outside the right center field fence. This area will be utilized as a fan experience area. The materials and labor for the project are being donated, and this project is no cost to the board. Engineering and Construction Department has reviewed the request and has no objection.
any questions? Number 3,
Smyrna High School Baseball Stadium naming request. Principal Dr. Sherry Sutherland is requesting to name the baseball stadium in honor of Sonny Gray. Sonny had a decorated career at Smyrna High and Vanderbilt University, is currently pitching for the St. Louis Cardinals following an extensive career with Major League Baseball. Engineering Construction has reviewed the request and has no objection.
Any questions? Number 4.
Mr. Reed, I don't know if you want to talk about this one at all, but I'll read it. Number 4, Poplar Hill Road and Sewer easements. New Poplar Hill School site requires some widening to Blackman Road to safely access the schools. Rutherford County Highway Department has kindly agreed to complete the portion of the road widening work beyond where the school contractor's responsibility stops, and also to fund the cost of said construction. The school system needs to acquire the right-of-way easements along Blackman Road to enable the county highway to begin. In addition, sewer easements are needed across some properties to tie into sewer to serve the school site.
So in Blackman Road, with respect to the new school site, we're adding a turn lane and another lane to the road too, make it wide enough for school traffic to get in and out of the school site safely. That will require some property to be taken or purchased on the opposite side of the road from where the school is, along the edge of it. That's something we're negotiating with the landowners there about trying to acquire that from them. And then there's also the sewer line that we're running to the school site. It will be a tight line sewer that's just to serve the school. So it's not for public use for anyone other than the school, but there'll be a small sewer line running along the road to tie into a manhole there to provide sewer to the service to the school. So we're asking for authority to go ahead and negotiate that with the landowners there. And if we have to exercise eminent domain, which you have to do it sometimes with respect to easements, that we'd be allowed to do that.
Any questions? Yes, Mr. Tidwell.
So this is just giving you permission to start the negotiations?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. Number 11, instruction.
All right, number 11, the Rutherford County Schools Academic Calendar 25-26. Calendar Committee met and made revisions on March 21st. The new requested changes are shown in red and purple, and you will see that what we needed to be able to do really revolved around Election Day. So most of our schools are election sites. We set our calendar before the official election dates are chosen, so sometimes we have to go back and change it, and this is one of those times.
Number 2.
This is with the board approved adoption last time. This is approving the purchase. Just as background, the state moved from a 6-year to an 8-year textbook adoption process to balance the RCS Run Schools budget and general purpose 141 last year. Rutherford County Schools cut the textbook line item and communicated the intention to use fund balance for upcoming purchase of science textbooks. You'll see elementary is $3,181,095, middle school is $748,555, and then high school is $2,724,764. And so that total to be asked to come out of our fund balance. And County Commission and Budget has been aware that was coming. We've communicated this for almost a year.
Dr. Sullivan?
Yep.
This is a one-time expenditure, correct?
Middle school will be a little bit more depending on what we use. That's why that number is so much lower. But it's a one-time as far as over the next 8 years, except for middle school, whatever we don't use and replace and print every year.
Okay.
And then our next textbook adoption, big one, is 2 years away, social studies.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, we will take care of that on Thursday. 13, financial matters.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
That's right,
Yep.
it's Wednesday. So sorry, Wednesday, not Thursday.
We'll go into executive session after the work session to discuss safety, and then we would also go into executive session if the board had questions tomorrow to be able to discuss before the vote as well. So number 13 would somewhat be dependent on number 12. So number 13, this budget amendment is to reflect the receipt of additional state revenue, not including the original budget. It includes moving Innovative Schools model grant funding around to appropriate accounts, add funding for weapon detection systems, funding an additional day added to the calendar for 12-month classified hourly employees, and adding funds to maintenance contracted services for multiple projects that have increased expenditures. This amendment has a net increase of both current year revenue and expenditures of $4 million with no use of fund balance. There are not any recurring costs included in this amendment. And so this is the $4 million, I guess, bonus, if you will, for performance for our A through F earlier in the year. So we're going ahead and doing some of our cleanup amendment and weapon detections out of this $4 million.
Excellent. Number 2.
Number 2 is connected back to instructions request. So that was the request to purchase the science books, textbooks, and this is the actual fund balance motion. This budget amendment is to reflect the state of Tennessee moving from a 6 to an 8-year textbook adoption process to balance the RCS Fund 141 GP budget. The textbook line item was cut in fiscal year 24-25, and the intention to use Fund 141 unassigned fund balance was communicated previously regarding the purchase of science textbooks. This amendment will decrease Fund 141 unassigned fund balance and increase expenditure account 71100430 bound textbooks in the amount of $6,654,414. And at last check, we were about 98 million or so in fund balance. Is that correct? It was in the 90s, so it is extremely healthy still. I know that's a question that the county commission will ask is, what is your fund balance? They want us to be somewhere, again, state law is 3%. They like us about 15%, really 10 to 15 is where we are. We've been up to 20% in the past, and so this puts us still in that 15 range.
Okay. Next, we go to book review. You can see we've got all the books listed with the recommendations from the librarian committee. And we'll do this tomorrow as we've done in the past. I'll say the name of each book with the recommendation, and then we will roll call vote each book individually. Is that okay with everyone? Okay. Next, we have the financial report.
So pretty quick, so we're moving into kind of our formal budget adoption process. And so the board right now, the way it is scheduled, would vote on to pass the budget on May 15th. We have graduation dates also that date. And so what I emailed the board today was we don't set revenue as a county school system. Instead, revenue is proposed by the county finance director and then approved and appropriated by the county commission. We receive our revenue estimates from the county finance director, and so they ask us to get it as close to May 15th as possible. We may move the timing of that date or that actual date. Still need to hear back from a couple board members to make that decision, but we'll make that decision to make it public tomorrow. All that to say, Fund 143 is our central cafeteria fund. It is a self-sufficient fund. That fund is run by USDA reimbursements, payments by students and parents and adults for lunches, and then all of our expenditures for employees for the cafeteria run out of that fund. And so what we have proposed was a 2.5% increase to the salary table for our staff. And then that fund balance has been well into the 12, 13, 14 million. So we will, as we get the actual revenue numbers, look to run that one 2 or 3 million into the negative to be able to spend some of that on equipment, some different projects you guys have approved, painting projects. You're supposed to have about a 6-month fund balance, and we have over that in that account right now. So that's 1 year after year we have been spending down. And then we'll do Fund 177 because it's a much larger one tomorrow night.
Okay.
But if there's anything that any board member wants to discuss, we had a budget retreat on this as well. So if anybody wants to pull something out of 143, we don't have the actual revenue stuff entered yet. That gets entered by the county finance department, but we'll have that toward May. But this was just to have the discussion on 143. Trey, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I was going to say.
I remember I've asked you to go over the highlights too.
No, that's all good. You covered most of it. One thing that I did bring the March update for this fund, so I brought it was handed out to all the board members tonight.
Yep.
We're actually running a little bit under, which is good at this time of the year. We are, to remind everybody, our budget this year was page 4, $33,448,756, and we're about 65.6% right now. That's kind of typical where we are this time of year. We do have we budgeted a little bit heavier this year for equipment replacement needs. That money has not been allocated yet. We are finalizing in the next week to 10 days our equipment needs from all of our different sites and from our managers. That will go out for bid fairly quickly, and we probably won't get it bid till right close to the end of the year, but we will get the money allocated. Since consolidating and centralizing our nutrition staff, historically in the past, we were in the red. We've been in the black very well, which is good. And I think we discussed at the board retreat, we are looking to add a few positions this year. We are looking to add an administrative assistant, fill a field manager spot that is currently budgeted, add a school nutrition technology staff member. We've grown to the point with all of our computers and point of sales and all that, it's very difficult for our school IT staff that are only in schools once every 3 days. It's very difficult for them to support nutrition now, so it's time for them to have their own technology person. We will be adding, of course, the new staff for Poplar Hill. We have a manager, an assistant manager. We're proposing 3 5.5-hour employees, but we currently have some areas where, based on our meals per labor hour, we're overstaffed. So we'll probably move a couple of positions around instead of adding, but we are going to budget for these members at this time. Overall, I would expect us to probably be up. Labor is a large portion of it. We had 2.5% raise. We'd probably budget another 4 to 5% for our other items, and then the new positions. So it won't be a large increase. And then if we budget into a deficit so that we can utilize some of those fund balance, it'll be somewhere around probably about where we're sitting now. It won't be a whole lot of difference from an overall expenditure for next year. And I'll be glad to answer any questions.
I have a question, Ms. Maxwell.
Yes, Ms. Rosales.
Thank you. So you said that we were running in the red before, and now we're in the black, which is great. So what were the contributing factors to causing us to be in the red, and now we're in the black?
There was not a lot of continuity to our cafeterias. We were overstaffed in a lot of places. In centralization, it allowed us to use a uniform metric to better manage our staff members so that we ran more like a business. We did not terminate any employees. We let those positions, as people retired, we just did not fill them, and we began to reduce our budget based on those retirements and those staff members moving out. And it allows us better flexibility to control menus and be able to move staff members around to be able to fill in so that we're not as top-heavy as we once were.
Any other questions? Go
I'll
ahead.
add to that, we used to operate basically every school site was their own restaurant. It's the best way that I know how to say it. Now we operate as one restaurant that has off-sites.
And so does that mean that as running as one big restaurant, there's someone that's kind of eyeing the operation, especially when it comes to like the buying side of it, the food aspect?
Yes.
There won't be as much shrinkage.
We have uniform buying policies that we use, and all of it's FDA mandated. We are watching that. The biggest thing for us, and it's just for the nutrition, it's no different than our regular budget. Labor's the biggest carrier of it, and if you're very top-heavy and you're way overstaffed, you can, most businesses, and I'd have to verify with Brian, but most businesses run their burden somewhere around 60 to 70%. So for every dollar you spend, you expend another 70 cents for that employee to carry them. So it does get very expensive, and as you get those numbers back in line with your national trends for what it should be, and if I didn't at the retreat, we're looking to stay in that 17 to 19 meals per labor hour range. And that's a fair range. We even have a couple of schools that are super efficient, and they're a little bit over 19, and we've talked to those managers, and they don't want additional help. They tell me, I don't need somebody stumbling around under my feet. I'm not going to argue with somebody that's got their staff lean and mean and got it going the way they want it. And we still have some work to do. But overall, we're a much more efficient operation than we used to be. The other thing that kind of got us, we did not do a real good job of keeping our kitchens up to date with our equipment. And that's why we've been focused the last couple of years. Before we started budgeting into the fund balance, our focus was to analyze our equipment in our cafeteria, because if they've got pieces of their equipment that are breaking down every 2 to 3 days, not only are they inefficient, making your numbers look wrong, they're also causing undue work for the staff. So if we get that equipment straightened out, which I think after this year, with what we're going to buy this year, not everybody has brand new stuff, but it's all going to be in the 8 to 10 year range, which for kitchen equipment, that's a good range to be in. We had some stuff that was much older. And so that's the type of things that we're doing to keep us efficient.
Mr. Tidwell.
Thank you.
I gotta have just a two-part question here. See if this is, now this particular fund, 143, we're trying to spin down a little bit, right? It's a little bit higher than what we'd like for it to be. The kitchen equipment that we're purchasing for the new elementary school, is that budgeted into the construction price, like with the furniture and everything else?
Yes, sir, it is.
That. Since we need to spend this fund down, would it be possible to use some of this fund, because it can only be used for certain things, right?
Correct.
Would it be possible, and maybe this is a question for you, Dr. Sullivan, but to buy the equipment out of this fund, which we're trying to spend down, and that frees up the same amount of dollars that we already have in construction, but the dollars that can be used more versatile?
Yeah, I think once we get the rest of the facilities to the point we need them to, absolutely. Yeah, we go through right now when we have some of our staff go through, especially from technology, we bill this account, if you will, to help cover some of that.
I think it just could free up, I mean, it's the same amount of money, it's just freeing it up in an area that we're a little heavy in and making those dollars be put to use in a different way.
Yeah. Once we get this budget, once we see the equipment that we're going to purchase this year and see what that number is and what we budget into the deficit, and we see where we are fund balance, then we can make a determination of how much more we want to spend down. We're trying to get, we've spent the last 3 or 4 years getting to this point because I wanted to be efficient with our funds. And the other thing we haven't done, we haven't raised our meal prices either. We've tried to keep them as low as possible as well as part of this, because if we let that, I'm trying to keep those numbers as close as we can without putting undue stress on us or having us to the point that if we had a major something happen, we didn't have the funds to take care of it.
Appreciate that. I know a lot of families appreciate that.
Yes, Dr. Sullivan.
Only thing I'd add, when Trey is talking about top heavy, we're talking about the school level, not district level. So schools had their ability with cafeteria managers controlling their own restaurants to hire kind of as they wanted or as they saw fit with positions, and that no longer occurs.
Mm-hmm. I have another question. Yes. I thought bad meal debt be in this account. No, which account is that at?
Bad meal debt is today. I had them look at it for me this afternoon right before we came. $940,000 today.
So, $940,000. I have a question. So when they did the change of the coding for Medicaid and stuff like that, and technically that will have helped us with, especially with economically disadvantaged on the TISA side, because we will get $500 per kid that was coded that way. How much did we lose when they redid the coding and cost us to lose that $500, and now we're looking into a higher bad meal debt?
Luckily, the governor this year has gone back and done 75%, so still about $1.5 million.
$1.5 million that we lost?
But that would have been in 141, not 143.
Yeah, on that side. Right, because it was TISA.
Yep.
Any other questions?
One more thing, I know the board asked us last year to put a committee together and come up with ideas, and we've implemented all of those ideas except for one, and it's the one that's none of us want to do, and that's taking the parents to court. Other than that, we have implemented everything that was asked or recommended, and the schools are still doing a good job. We're sending out notices and sending out phone calls and emails, and we're trying everything that the committee came up with, so we are still working on this. We haven't thrown in the towel yet.
Yeah. I know you didn't want to look into this, about just district-wide free and reduced. If our percentages are there, can we, I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to eat this cost if it doesn't get paid. So why?
I'm not sure we would qualify right now.
Do you think it's lower than 45? Oh, no, than 60%?
It's close. I'd have to see where our numbers are right now without the Medicare and Medicaid in.
Okay. Well, if you could
Close.
check, that'd be great.
Yeah, I can.
All right, thank you.
Anything else?
I'll do director's update tomorrow.
Okay. Tennessee Legislative and Federal, Mr. Vaught, you have anything for tonight? I'm sure. Next, we have general discussion. Ms. Sharp?
Thank you. Madam Chair, I apologize for failing to mention that Gary Nixon, the first high school principal at Blackman, has passed. So y'all please keep his family in prayer. And I've got a few things, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
So Jazz Fest, we're rocking along. We've got about 20 bands. We could stand to have a couple more sponsors just to put us over the edge. We've got a lot of vendors that are coming for the kids. We have one for the special needs. Several of you have gotten that. But we're doing well, and that's going to be the 25th and the 26th, last weekend of April at the Fountain. So everybody come out. The weather's going to be beautiful. We're not going to have to worry about it, and we're going to have a lot of food and everything from the Fountain. So back in February, somebody sent this, and I'm sorry that they spent all this money because every school board member was sent this, and it was suggestions on policy changes. Well, we have a policy meeting at the end of the month, the 29th, I believe. Mm-hmm. So I gave the information to Ms. Ridley, and we're going to look at that at the policy meeting, and I couldn't find Mr. Smith. I'm sure this is an alias. But I couldn't find him on Facebook or a number or anything, so I sent him a card. The card came back today from the address through interoffice mail. So, Mr. James Smith, we have looked at this, and we're going to look at it at the policy meeting, just so you'll know about that. Because I don't know who sent it, but they obviously spent some money to send it to each and every one of us board members. So we will be looking at that at the end of the month. Also, Mr. Lee, can you give us an update on the Smyrna High School?
Yes, ma'am. I attended the Planning Commission last week. The Town Planning Commission did approve moving forward with the developer's request to provide the Kroger project a move forward. It will still, there's still enough land left that they could build 250 apartments. Had it been zoned with an appropriate developer, there could have been 750 apartments, but there's still a potential for 250, even with this development. They did not mention a time frame, and they also did not mention any the out parcels at this time. They did say they were talking with 2 or 3. I'm going to use their language, higher end clients for those out parcels, but they just said 2 or 3. But phase 1 of the project was approved by the Planning Commission. It'll now go to the Town Council.
Thank you. So I've had several phone calls of this, and the constituents and the residents out there are not happy about this being put next to the school. I've followed up with the planning. Mr. Rigsby is not there, but I spoke with his assistant on yesterday. And as far as we can tell, this property has not been sold. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not under contract somewhere and that hasn't been completed. But this board needs to seriously consider, for the Smyrna residents, us purchasing that land over there. Because I, too, have concerns like they do as far as security, and having people, just like the dump at Laverne Lake, would allow people who shouldn't normally be on school property, it's going to allow them to be close on school property. So just something for y'all to look at. The people at the school are not happy, and the residents in Smyrna are not happy. So just y'all think about that and see what we can do.
Is there any other general discussion?
Ms. Maxwell?
Yes, Ms. Rosales.
So I just wanted to say that thank you to the board for voting to start a incorporation for the foundation. And we actually had our first meeting with the board last 2 weeks ago, and it went great. And we've nominated a chair and a vice chair. So, so we're really excited about that, and good things are going to come out of it.
Thank you. Any other comments? If not, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Bott.
Well, I feel obligated to bring y'all up to date on the school bus contract, for the bus drivers. We have had 3, and I'm going to call them very successful, 4-hour sessions with representatives of the association. I'm meeting with the budget and finance director in the morning, and Trey. We're going to try to put our heads together and have something back to you guys. I guess Dr. Sullivan, a couple of weeks or something, I think.
The 24th for sure.
Yeah, they and the drivers have been, or drivers owners, they've been very, I don't want to say on pins and needles, but they're very anxious to see what, the proposal's going to be. But I don't really feel, I don't want to bring something to the board that we know cannot get funded. So that's kind of where I am right now, if you wanted to know where the discussions were. So that's the reason to bring in our good friends at the courthouse to make sure whatever we do here can be funded. So anyway, we're meeting in the morning, so maybe we'll make a little more headway.
And I want to thank you you've been working really hard
My
at this.
pleasure. I love these people, and a lot of them are my good close friends. A lot of them are good small business owners, independent people. They're the folks I've been around all my life, so I've enjoyed it, really.
Okay.
Thank you. We appreciate your hard work on it.
Dr. Sullivan?
Yeah, we'll definitely need a proposal to vote on by the 24th so that we can have budget approved and everything by the 15th, for sure.
Okay. If there's nothing else, Ms. Darby?
Move to adjourn.
Go to executive session.
Don't forget.